right. I'm gonna preface this by saying two things, because there's gonna be a lot of people that will say this. I'm not mad that I didn't get an invite to the streaming university thing, or like because I didn't even put in a video to even be considered, which wouldn't have even been considered because I'm from Australia. So we're gonna just cover that first before we get into this, because I know what people will say if they watch the video. They'll say, you're just mad that you didn't get an invite. You're just mad that Kai didn't choose you. I didn't apply for a reason, because I knew it was gonna be like this. I knew that the event was gonna be more so a clip farm. They're just all in there trying to do the same thing, and they're just getting clipped. Just clip. No matter what you're doing, it's a clip, right? It is a farming simulator, and that's okay if that's how it was marketed, which it wasn't. Even my categories, it was marketed at people to be this career opportunity growth point where you could potentially have your blow up, because you would be next to some big great names, and Kai would be there, and you would have this opportunity for growth and to make new friends. And instead, it looks like a shit show from the outside, if I'm being very honest. And quite frankly, that's my, what do they call that? That's my sensitive opinion. My non-sensitive opinion is this is going to end dangerously. Like, I don't think anyone will be able to do anything like this ever again. And I'll talk about that. First things first, for those of you who don't know what Streaming University is, it's essentially a big content house, or a big content farm, where there are, I think, over, how many, like 300 students or something like that? Over 150 students. So less than I thought, which is more manageable in some degree. And then I also think that there's like maybe 50 lecturers or teachers, or if you even want to call them that, other content creators who are friends of Kai, or who are friends of OTK, or who are friends of, what's the other one? 100 Thieves, who are like the teachers, I guess you could say, who are there to teach these students how to stream, which is essentially just clip farm. That's all it is like create as much drama as you can, make as many like inflammatory clips as you possibly can, post those all out on social media, and hope for the best. And that in itself is not an issue. There is nothing wrong with that. People have been clipping and farm clipping, or clip farming. I feel so old saying clip farming. They've been doing that for a very long time. That's not an issue. The issue is that this is exactly, and this is my personal opinion, this is exactly the same thing that I thought Mr. Beast did to YouTube. It is ruining and wrecking anyone's real chances of actually making a gaming career, or like some form of career in streaming, if it's not like this. Because this is all we're getting fed now. Algorithmically, this is all I'm getting fed. And I sometimes, which some people might be very angry about, sometimes I go, not interested. Because I don't want to see any of it. Because it makes me, in my mind, and this does come from insecurity, before anyone says, it's because you're insecure. Yeah, probably. All of us are in some way or another. It's okay to be insecure about things, because that means you can work on yourself, and you can work towards bettering yourself and changing that opinion in yourself. And, you know, it's growth in some respects. But it means that if you don't have any friends, or if you don't have the ability to collaborate with people in person like this, that your content has to rely solely on you, your appearance, your gameplay skills, or your humor. And I say that because a lot of people who have been talking about Streaming University have also said that anyone who complains about the Streaming University as it is isn't really focusing on like other creators, where it's like, so Queso, for instance, he just stays in his own lane. He just plays funny, scary games, or funny games with his hoodie on. It's not about how he looks, it's about who he is and his personality and the games he plays. And he's got a very nice community. I don't know if you've ever been in there. I don't know if you've ever dabbled in other creators like that, but Queso's content, really fucking good. Actually, genuinely really, really good. And I hate the word content, because it just feels like I'm sitting at somebody's house watching him play a game, and we're all giggling at the same thing, right? And that's how it should feel sometimes. It should feel like, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but with streaming games or streaming in general, it should feel like you're in a room with a friend and you're all hanging out, and then you get to walk away from it at the end of the day. Streaming University has created this really dangerous environment where there are like 150 people all fighting for attention, which we've seen before, i.e. Mr. Beast's videos, except instead of attention, it's money. But this is the potential to grow to earn money. Now we have 150 people fighting for attention, fighting for Kai's attention, fighting for the lecturers, fighting for the top stream. Like, it's just a really weird dynamic that I think is very dangerous for the industry, because it's like we're already like almost fighting each other, dregs of the Twitch barrel, right? And then you put this stuff in the mix and it's like anyone who's starting or anyone who is looking at getting into this goes, oh my god, the only way that I can do this is if I start drama, or is if I clip farm, or if I like rage bait, or if I, and yeah, those things work and they have the ability to help you grow, but at what cost to your personal ethics and your personal like compass, I guess. Most events linked to the Twitch are a shit show, to be honest. Look at TwitchCon. It's a prime example. Many convention centers told Twitch not to bother asking to return next year as they don't want the hassle. Well, there you go, because that just, it's, and I hate to say it, but it's the type of company that you keep sometimes, right? It's the fact that it seems to be, less about the community anymore, which I guess you could say some people went too far into and maybe became parasocial, and that's fine. But it's also now about creating disingenuous engagement with each other in order to hopefully have the best clip. It's just so weird. We're worried about AI. I think we should be worried about B-grade acting and disingenuous interaction. How do you sustain this long term? How do you keep up with this long term? And how does anyone new actually, I guess, go head to head with this? Like, how does anyone compete? Like, you simply cannot. There is no way to. And I guess that's that thing of like, people would be like, yeah, we'll just get on board then. It's like, okay, but then people call you disingenuous, and then people call it out, and then they say things like, you know, the fact that she quite literally ran a red light, didn't apologize for it too much, said, oh my god, I'm so sorry, it was empty, we do it all the time in America. But like, people get killed doing that shit, and people kill other people doing that stuff, and like, it is a big deal. But there's no, people think it's funny and it's drama and it's ha-ha and it's content, but it isn't. And I think that's my point of this, is that a lot of this stuff that will come out of the Streaming University will not have any real value except for dopamine fishing of like, oh my god, I'm watching a Days of Our Lives soap opera, Streaming University, TV show vibe-esque production, but with real people and real consequences. So this is the thing, right? These people aren't actors. These people are not actors, and unless Kai has had every single person sign waivers, sign NDAs, sign forms, unless they have had pre-production like handling, and they will have post-production handling, and there is somebody who is monitoring everything to a T, I guarantee you, and this is my prediction, and I don't want to be right about this because this will be really fucked up if I am, it will slowly escalate, exactly, Shadow, until things get really dangerous, until somebody gets really hurt, until something bad happens to somebody, or until it gets shut down from a platform perspective because something bad happens, or something gets promoted in a way that it shouldn't. And I think that that's the part that's really interesting, because it's like, yes, you can push the boundaries as much as you want, but also, like, what is in place here that's going to protect the individuals involved too? Because no one's really talked about that either. No one's really talked about, like, what is the, if something happens, like, if something happens where, for instance, there was a fight that was planned and it was scripted and it was funny and they were boxing, but imagine if one of those creators then comes out after the fact and now says, oh, that was legitimate, like, I didn't know that we were just boxing for the views and I got hit and I think we should cancel X, Y, and Z. Or, I mean, and we've seen it so many times with Minecraft YouTubers, right? We've seen how often Minecraft YouTubers were in circumstances where, A, they shouldn't have put themselves in there, so you're an idiot for first and foremost. However, they've been in those circumstances because it was for content, or because it was for their career, or because it was a part of their content plan. And then after the fact, bad shit has happened, and then that bad shit comes out. So yeah, my prediction is with the streaming university, it is only a matter of time before something actually goes quite horribly wrong. Yeah, so I want to just obviously say that before anyone says it in the comments, if this does get watched by anyone on YouTube, I understand that it is content, and that's the whole point. It's to farm. I know that. It wasn't marketed that way, and I was just pointing out some of the dangers, I guess, in doing something like this. The potential for it to go like horribly wrong, for somebody to get hurt, for someone to hurt someone, or for something to happen platform-wise or like sponsor-wise could go horribly wrong. I also think that what this does is burns out content creators outside of this program, and a lot of them didn't get chosen who should have gotten chosen, who were, I guess, not friends of the lecturers or friends of Kai's, who could have created some really, I guess, evergreen, long-lasting relationship, friendship content things. But we're not seeing that. Instead, we're seeing people literally fighting in a hallway, and drama being farmed of like, no one's showing up, oh, this is so sad, feel bad for me, and the, you know, a lot of like overly sexualized too, and I think this is a really big one that I'm not going to go into because everyone has their own opinions of that sort of stuff, and more power to you. If you're comfortable with your body, you do what you want with it, right? The hypocrisy comes from Kai stating that he didn't want any OnlyFans girls there, and in fact now there is OnlyFans behavior there. So it's weird. It's very weird. The whole situation's weird. Let me know if you disagree with me. If you do disagree with me, that's totally fine. This is an open chat room, an open space for everyone to talk about these things, because the conversation can only be had comfortably and like adults if we talk about it. And if we have differentiating perspectives, it's nice to find a middle ground or see if we can come to some like middle agreement and go from there.